Hay que mirar aquí.
See, I know, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Hi guys! Today we're going to be talking about the ancient Egyptian god Ra. First we're going to be covering some history, and then we're going to be covering some mythology. I will be linking all of my sources down below. And lastly, we're going to be going over 3 ways that you can honor or worship Ra in your daily practice, whether that's Kemeticism, Wiccanism, or something else. We're going to be counting them down from 3 to 1, so make sure you stick around to the end, because we're going to be going over some magical rituals to incorporate into your daily practice, into your daily worship and honoring of Ra. With that being said, let's get into the video. So, who is Ra? Ra is one of the central gods of the Egyptian pantheon. His name is also written as Re or Pra. He's the ancient Egyptian god of the sun. He's also the king of the gods as well as the creator of the universe. He's also considered to be the patron god of pharaohs. And overall, he's considered to be the father of Ma'at. The ancient Egyptians placed over all things the idea of Ma'at as the personification of truth, justice, and the cosmic order. And so Ra being the father of Ma'at means that Ra is the ultimate source of order in the universe. So most sun gods took falcon form. They had human bodies and the head of falcons. Ra in particular, his symbols were the sun and the solar disk, obviously, as well as the scepter and the ankh. Ra represented life, warmth, and growth, and he overall represented the noon sun. So now we're going to be talking about some history behind his worship. The first references to Ra appeared in the 2nd dynasty, and by the 5th dynasty he was considered a powerful god, and the pharaoh at that point was referenced as the son of Ra, and the name Ra was incorporated into every pharaoh's name from then onwards. By the way, Egyptian history is separated into 30 dynasties. The city Heliopolis, which the Egyptian name is Iunu, and it was named Heliopolis, the Sun City, by Greek invaders, was the principal seat of worship of Ra. And when we talk about Egyptian deities, we can't talk about it without running into composite gods. And so in Egyptian mythology, there are many gods who have powers or responsibilities that overlap. And so what the Egyptians would do is they would combine those two to form a completely different deity, a composite deity that would have the name of both deities that have been combined. And sometimes there are composite deities, like we will see later on, that have even combined 3 different gods. And so the first composite deity that incorporates Ra was with Horus. So by the 4th dynasty, Horus was already seen as, the pharaoh was already seen as the embodiment of Horus, and so when the pharaoh was then seen as the son of Ra, the two were combined in the deity Ra Harakti, meaning Ra is the Horus of the horizon. Ra was also combined with Atum in the composite deity Atum Ra. And during the Middle Kingdom, there was a rise in worship of the god Amun of Thebes. And in the late 11th dynasty, Ra and Amun were combined in the god Amun Ra. And for more than a millennium, Amun Ra was considered the king of the gods. as well as the patron god of the pharaohs. Later on, we see the rise of other composite deities like Ra, Amun, Horus, where Ra represents the daytime sun, Amun represents the sun in the underworld, and Horus represents the sunrise, as well as Sebek Ra and Khnum Ra. And in the later New Kingdom, Ra was also combined with the god Osiris, the god of the underworld, in royal mortuary texts, so the hieroglyphics that were written onto the walls of the tombs of kings. After the New Kingdom, we see the start of the Ptolemaic period, which is when the Greeks and Romans invaded Egypt under Alexander the Great, and as foreign leaders continued to rule over Egypt, the worship of Ra declined in the region. So Ra, being the father of the gods, had pretty much a connection to every other Egyptian god, since he was considered their father or their king. He was married to either Hathor or Hesat, depending on when those myths were written. Early on, it was said that he was married to Hathor. However, in later mythology, it was written that he was married to Hesat and that Hathor was his daughter. So the main myth, the main creation myth of the specific area of Heliopolis that worshipped Ra was that Ra rose out of the waters of Nun, which were the primordial waters of before the universe was created. There was just nothing, and that was Nun. And so Ra rose out of Nun as a Benben stone, which is an obelisk type pillar, which this is an obelisk, so with pyramidical shape. So he rose out of the waters as a Benben stone, and he created by either sneezing out, spitting out, or in some myths even masturbating out, Shu, which was air, and Tefnut, which was moisture. And Tefnut then gave birth to Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky. And Ra put Shu, the air, between Geb and Nut, and he proclaimed that Nut could not give birth on any day of the year. However, the god Thoth won 5 extra days from the moon, so that Nut could then give birth to Osiris, Set, Isis, Nephthys, and Horus the Elder. Other myths say that Ra was a pharaoh as an older man, and his people lost respect for him and therefore no longer obeyed him. And so he got angry at them, and to punish them he sent his Eye of Ra, otherwise known as the daughter of Ra, to punish his people. However, his eye became extremely violent, and to stop her from murdering everybody, he had to arrange to have her stopped. And once the danger had passed, he decided he would leave the world, leaving the world to Horus, who then became king, to fly across the sky on Nut's back. Eyes of Ra were Ra's daughters, who were considered instruments of his vengeance, and they were included but not limited to Wadjet, Bast, Sekhmet, and Hathor. So the Egyptians believed that Ra created all life by calling all forms of life into existence, and they believed that man was created out of Ra's sweat and tears. So that's kind of how the Egyptians believed that man was created. However, most of the myths around Ra, since he's a sun, he's the god of the sun, have to do with the cycle of day and night. So why the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. And so one version of the story is that Nut, the sky, would swallow Ra every evening, and he would travel across the world of the dead and be reborn in the morning. However, the more known version of the story is that Ra would travel across the sky in the day on his solar bark, meaning boat, called Matet, meaning becoming stronger, and he would travel across a different bark at night called Sektet, meaning growing weaker, and he would travel across the world of the dead accompanied by the blessings of the living as well as the souls of the dead. And he would have to then in the underworld vanquish the god Apophis or Apep, the god of chaos, his mortal enemy, in order to be reborn in the morning, in order for the sun to rise. Apep would try to swallow him as he entered the underworld, trying to prevent sunrise, but he would inevitably lose, and when he did, the sun would rise in the morning.
Alright guys, now that we've covered some history and mythology, we're going to get into the rituals that you can incorporate into your daily practice. So the Egyptians built many pyramids and obelisks and sun temples in Ra's honor. They were open to sunlight but had no statues of him since the sunlight already represented him. They featured instead an obelisk and an altar. And they also celebrated the holiday of the receiving of Ra on May 26th in the Gregorian calendar. So one way to worship Ra would be to create a makeshift sun temple in the home, somewhere with a lot of sunlight, and to celebrate the receiving of Ra by singing or speaking a hymn to Ra, meditating, or writing in a devotional journal. Here I've created an altar and I'm just lighting some tea lights and lighting some frankincense. I've also placed some crystals on top of the altar, and I meditate for a while, and after meditating I'm going to write for a bit in my devotional journal. By the way, for those of you who aren't aware, devotional journals are just a place where you can write whatever you want to say to your gods. If you want to speak to them, ask for their help, pray to them, or basically just speak to them. During ancient times, priests and priestesses would perform a daily morning offering ceremony where they washed, anointed, and elaborately dressed Ra's statue before presenting it with offerings. So the second ritual we're going to talk about today is, here I'm just washing my obelisk with water, and then I'm going to burn some incense. You can anoint the statue with oil as well. That I'm using incense that has a connection to the sun, so I'm using frankincense again here, but you could also use cedar, cinnamon, clove, citrus, or rosemary. Make sure that whatever herbs you use aren't dangerous if they catch fire, and if they are, don't put them near a flame. So here I'm just picking up my obelisk. I want the smoke to kind of go over the statue to kind of anoint it. And then afterwards I'm going to dress the statue. Here I'm just giving a coin offering, and then I'm going to be putting down some crystals. And after you dress the statue however you want, you're going to place your offerings to Ra. I'm just using bread and water, and then we pray. I call now on Ra. I welcome him into my life. I give my worship and offerings so that he may bring warmth and growth into my life. So be it done. After a while has passed and we've prayed or meditated and Ra has absorbed the spiritual essence of our offerings, we can then eat the offerings so that we absorb the physical and Ra has absorbed the spiritual, or the Ka, the energy. During ancient Egypt, many acts of worship included hymns, prayers, and spells to help Ra overcome Apep. So here I'm going to be performing a protection spell for Ra. This should be done at dusk, but I'm doing it during the day so you can see me clearly. At my sun temple, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to ring my bell to clear away negativity. You could also play bell sounds. And I'm going to be lighting a candle or tea light anointed with lavender here, but you can use any other oil or incense for protection, like wintergreen, sandalwood, rosemary, pine, lime, lavender, frankincense, eucalyptus or cedar wood, etc. There are many. Again, make sure whatever herbs you use or oils that you use are safe if they catch fire, and if they're not, don't put them near a flame. Afterwards, we will speak our prayer. I send my blessings of strength to Ra to protect him from his mortal enemy, so that he may overpower the god of chaos, and so the sun may rise once more. So be it done.
So, alright there guys, I hope I've left you with some new information about Ra as well as Egyptian mythology, and that I've given you some new ideas on how to worship or honor Ra in your daily practice, whether that's Kemeticism, Wiccanism, or something else. Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss the next upload. And leave a comment down below what other gods or myths would you like the channel to cover, and what other pantheons are you interested in. As well, if you have any other sources that speak about Ra or how to worship him, feel free to link those in a comment down below so that everybody else watching can read up some more if they're interested. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Greetings from the other planet. We are going to talk about Ra. Ra was a god. ¿Lo vas a hacer con esa voz? Pues entonces empieza.
Okay. That's gonna be the hardest thing.
¿Qué? ¿Practicar?
No, learning how to focus on the
Ok, dale. Okay.
It's always the hardest thing is to just start.
Ok, start. No, sí, no. ¿Qué pasa? Hey, greetings. Take me to your bus. Dale. Hi, viewers.
Oh God, no. Hello.
Esa es lo. Dale.
Hello. Oh.
Sí. Cheers a little bit more. Okay.
I'm looking at the camera. What are you doing?
Porque estás haciendo así.
No, I'm not.
¿Cómo
I'm thinking.
Ah.
I have to remember shit.
Ok, pero.
Pero you doing these gestures is distracting
Bueno,
me.
porque tú estás hablando y dices, porque.
Yeah, because I'm
Eso como
thinking.
que. Pues don't think like moving your eyes by
How am
once.
I supposed to remember?
Mira aquí.
I am.
Ok,
¿Y vas a
dale.
seguir jodiendo?
No.
Contra. I'm looking directly
You
at
look like a fucking psycho.
Mommy, Mommy, it's either that or I'm going to be like this.
That looks better. Actually. I look like you're gonna take that over this guy. Vale.
I'm going to. Si me sigue jodiendo.
I fucking love that part. There you go.